what's important for us is, as far as Israel, let's just take a step back and look at this. Areas of cultural interface then between Judaism and Greek culture. Judaism and Greek culture have to face each other now. And so what you've got is basically different areas that, when we talk about culture, what are the different aspects of culture? One of those areas is going to be, for the Jews in particular, it's a big one, it's called religion. And so religion, the Jewish people, they're of the circumcision, they do circumcision. The Jewish people eat kosher, they eat certain foods, they don't eat other foods. They do certain things around things that are unclean and other things that are clean and things. So the Jews have their very ethnic markers. They have their own Jewish markers that mark them as being Jewish. The Greeks, and they worship Jehovah. They worship one God. They worship one God, Jehovah or Yahweh. And Yahweh, Jehovah, the Lord, God. The Greeks, on the other hand, the Greeks will be, Zeus and multiple gods, and the gods fighting each other and duking it out and stuff. So the Greeks will have many gods, and they'll have regional gods, city gods, and big gods and stuff. And the Greeks and Jews will have priests, and the priests will be part of the religion, sacrificial system, temples, and temple states, and city-states with temples in them. And so you'll have the temples and the priesthood and all this stuff around the religion, supporting the religion of these various areas. In the time of the New Testament, you're going to see emperor worship come in, where there'll be Roman temples to the emperor in various towns like Ephesus and other places. So religion will play a big factor, especially in the ancient world. Now, of course, in modern culture, everybody tries to put religion down and to silence religion and try to export religion from our culture and things. But nevertheless, it is a huge part of our culture, and usually in our culture usually in derogatory terms. If somebody says they're an evangelical, that's thumbs down in our culture. You aren't allowed to pray in school much anymore. The Ten Commandments taken out of schools, prayers, young girls suing because there's a prayer on the wall that they don't like because they're an atheist. And so there's been a real attempt in American culture to silence and to have religion. In other words, you can almost have overt sexual relations in public, but yet religion is supposed to be private. Religion has been now put into the bedroom, while all sorts of promiscuity has been pulled out of the bedroom. And that's kind of where American culture is, kind of an interesting reversal there, I think. Of course, I'm being sarcastic, and you know irony, sarcasm. You've got to be aware of that. I'm overstating things, using hyperbole, but there's been a real effort to delete religion from American culture and stuff by secularists. So religion, big part back then. Military, you've got generals, you've got armies. In the New Testament, we're going to see guys called centurions. Centurions will be over the legions in Rome, and you'll have the Roman legions in there. I think in Jerusalem there's a block that's got an X on it from the Roman 10th Legion that was stationed in Jerusalem. And they'll have centurions that are over 100 guys. Jesus will run into a centurion who will ask him to help his servant and things. So it's, we'll have this whole military construction where the armies will be infiltrating. We'll have Greek armies, Roman armies, and stuff at various times in Palestine. So the military. Then these generals will also retire. And when these military leaders retire, they will get certain benefits and things. And so you'll see military people in Corinth. You'll see military people in Philippi and various things. Political. You'll have the king or emperor. And so there'll be these political structures. You'll have kings and emperors and governors and senators in Rome. And so you'll have this political structure that will also be part of the culture, as well as the courts. And the courts will do various things, and we'll see Paul going into the Roman court and having to defend himself before Agrippa and various people. Felix, Festus, and Agrippa in Israel. And so there are kings, there's governors, provincial rulers. There'll be provincial rulers, and then there'll be these larger senators, things like that. So there's a whole political structure from the emperor on down. And then as well as in the culture, there'll be slaves. There'll be slaves and freemen, huge amount of slavery, things like that. So not racial slavery like we have, but people enslaved. Some of the slaves will have good times, some of them will have bad times. They go into the mines, it'll be really wicked slavery. Some of them were slaves were to the higher up people. Slaves were actually able to buy their own freedom and things. So there was quite a bit of variety in the levels of slavery and things like that. But you'll have slaves, you'll have free people, various levels of stratas of society built off the political. Economic, and that's actually taxes. Rome, all the empires, what do they want? They want your tax money. Kind of doesn't change until this day. What does the government want for you? They want to provide all these wonderful services for you. Rome will want to provide peace and harmony for their whole universe. And what is it? They want your money. Okay, they want your money, your taxes. And so that's what the name of the game is. And even till this day, and as I look at you folks, I will say $15 trillion going on $16 trillion you and your grandchildren will be paying for the rest of your life due to the wonderful benevolences of our government. Okay? Now, I'm sorry you can hear the sarcasm in my voice. That's a bunch of baloney. Government likes power, and therefore it does it through money and dominating the people in that way. So be careful with that stuff. You got merchants, traders. Traders will basically be connecting then across the empire, people with commerce and things going back and forth. Egypt will send boats to Rome with food and things. Rome will send commercial goods all over the ancient world. And the ancient world will send goods to Rome and back and forth. That's part of the benefit of the empire is the economic prosperity. Peace and prosperity brought about as a result of the empire. So those